Fellas, AC here, welcome to another review. Now, if you've ever looked for a fragrance which is a perfect work scent, the most professional smelling, the most pleasing, the most amicable scent that goes along in a work environment, especially a professional white-collar job, you're watching the right review. Okay, so the name of the fragrance is Diptyque Tam Dao EDT. Now, Tam Dao, let me show you the back. Diptyque always gives you a hint. If you're ever buying a Diptyque fragrance from a retailer, look at the back of the picture. It'll give you a hint of what the fragrance is all about. It shows you a beautiful tropical forest with an elephant, a rainforest with an elephant. And this fragrance is inspired by the Tam Dao pristine sandalwood forests of Vietnam. Now, this fragrance was released back in 2003 and the parfumer is, let me show you something. The parfumer is Daniel Molière. Now on the internet, I couldn't find a single good picture of Daniel Molière. So I'm going to put out whatever I could find. I wish I could find a better picture of this man because he's done this fragrance. It is vintage Santos de Cartier. Santos de Cartier is one of the nicest, complex and animalic sandalwood fragrances out there. I'll do a full review very soon, because this is exemplary sandalwood, very different to what you get nowadays. But let's talk about Tam Dao. Tam Dao is exemplary in its own right. Let me start with the Atomizer. Very special. Have a look. This is entertaining. The most amazing fountain of scent. It's beautiful. Wow. This is what you call a professional smell. The smell itself is to the T. It's a proper office scent of a person who's got terrific taste and is really well read and very capable. It just projects that image. It's perfection, but in a professional setting. Okay, so how does it start off? It starts off smelling obviously of sandalwood, but not the kind of sandalwood that you would expect, like a Mysore or an Indian sandalwood. It's very green. I'll put a picture up. It smells, or the picture that's in my head is this. It's a misty forest which is green, which is woody, and there's a lot of warmth in it. And it's very subtle but very picturesque. It's a very subtle scent. So excuse me. So the fragrance starts off very green, rosy, woody. Okay, so the three notes that come out are myrtle. Number one is myrtle, followed with obviously sandalwood, overarching, followed with Brazilian rosewood and rose. Myrtle, rose, very watery, woody, sandalwood, isoe super, rosewood. Rosewood has a little sort of lavender-like smell, and it's woody. That's the scent signature. That's the fizzy, misty, green, very effervescent, very nice, very professional, very well done scent. It's really delicate but nice. And excuse me, got the lights on, so it makes me a little bit, dry-throated, if you like. Anyways, so why is it green? Why does it not smell like Indian sandalwood? I do not know. It smells like a Pacific sandalwood or an Australian sandalwood, which is fresher and doesn't have the buttery earthiness to it. There's no spicy bite to this fragrance that you would have in an Indian sandalwood. So, excuse me. So that's why I said it doesn't smell like Indian sandalwood. I've never smelled anything apart from Indian and Australian sandalwood. So I'm assuming this is Australian sandalwood. But it's really nice. That's how it begins, yeah? The sourness that you get in a sandalwood, Indian sandalwood has been sort of replaced with isoe super. So you get a little bit of woody, shallow souriness, very sharp woodiness, very sharp, but it's just concealed by myrtle. The fragrance is dominated by the green myrtle note, but it goes away after about half an hour or so. And then the fragrance is mostly linear. So when the fragrance dries down, the fragrance becomes linear, mostly linear. So what you get is a warm, flowery, rosy, woody smell with accents of spicy lavender, which is Brazilian rosewood, rose obviously, a little hint of ambery muskiness, but mostly it's that green fresh woody sandalwood. It doesn't change much. That's the scent. It's very, very professional, very delicate, yet very, very pleasing. Honestly, it's one of the most beautifully made sandalwood fragrances. It's critically acclaimed. Many people sing praises of this EDT. The EDT is sweeter, denser, much more synthetic sandalwood note than the real beautiful sandalwood note here. Non-Indian, nondescript sandalwood, more fresher, but it's just beautiful. This fragrance is for the aficionados. It has this amazing, calming, meditative, sort of withdrawn feel about it. It's very serene, it's very calm, very, very beautifully made. Really amazing fragrance, but only for people who can tolerate not being smelled by 1,000 people as they enter the room. No, this is for you, okay? So how do you wear this fragrance? There's a trick to wearing this fragrance. If you wear it on your skin, it's almost becomes a skin scent immediately in about half an hour. If you put it on a shirt, which you can, which I do, 2 to 3 sprays on your shirt, and the moment you move, you'll smell this. You'll encounter this amazing scent with little facets of the notes I mentioned. You just have to move. Or I was working from home today. I went for a walk. It was pretty windy in the afternoon. I came back in. The moment I came back in, I could smell myself. It's just very high quality materials, but it's very effervescent. It's very sort of ethereal kind of a smell. So that's the trick to wearing this fragrance. Wear it on your shirt. Put 2 sprays and you'll see how much you get noticed for your fragrance. So upsides and downsides. This is one of the most exemplary sandalwood fragrances. Most critically acclaimed. People really sing and praise and dance about this fragrance because of how it makes them feel. It's about how you feel. It's not about compliments. How you feel wearing this fragrance. This is one of the most beautifully crafted, meditative, serene, calm, professional smells out there. Hands down. That's the biggest upside of this fragrance. The second upside of this fragrance is bringing out the facets of sandalwood which are not being brought out by other fragrances. Other fragrances focus on the milky creaminess of sandalwood. This one doesn't. It focuses on the floral, herbal, sort of green side of the fragrance. It's so green and so lush. It's almost like trying to show you what a pristine forest would smell like. It's very, very delicate and very well made. Okay, those are 2 upsides. The downside, another upside would be if people smell you. If they smell you, they will have a very high opinion of your taste because it smells really professional and very well made. Okay, that's the 3 upsides. Downside. This is not your traditional fragrance where you wear and people smell it because it's got this very light texture about it, very airy. So this thing would really disappoint you if you're into wearing blaring fragrances. If you want people to smell you, you'll feel disappointed because sometimes people might not smell you. Sometimes you might not smell yourself. Other times you might. As I said, you just have to move and you might smell. I was working. I had 2 sprays on my shirt today. I was working all day from here, from home. And whenever I had a mood, I just thought, wow, what a scent this is. So that's a downside. You know, it's not a projector. You might not get noticed. If other people are wearing loud fragrances, excuse me, your scent might drown out. The other one is a performance. I think the first one talks about performance. The second thing is if you spend the money that you would spend on a Diptyque, it might leave you disappointed. Value for money is low, but if you're in a white-collar job, if you are in something which is like a position of authority and you want to really impress people by a taste, by not wearing the kind of fragrances that people want to wear, where you draw attention, distract people, but you want to inspire. This is it. But value for money, it can be a problem because if you're not into a white-collar job, this may not be the best fragrance because people will not smell you. Sometimes you will be left disappointed because season, this is quite a temperamental fragrance. This works best when it's warm, 25 degrees plus. When it's about to rain and warm, humid conditions, that's where it smells because it's so green and fresh and it's so ambery and dry. So it works beautifully in those conditions. Those conditions don't happen much here in the UK, but if you live in a tropical country, You cannot be without this fragrance, honestly. Compliment factor, as I said, it has to be in a professional setting and people will just think very highly of your taste. So depends who smells you and where. You might get a compliment, but you will leave a very impressive sort of a trail, especially in a closed environment. So age groups, it is a fragrance for everyone. One who has a pleasant personality, who's not very loud, not very brash, well-mannered, knows when to open his mouth, how to speak. That's kind of a very cultured fragrance. This is for cultured people. This is not a loud fragrance. Anybody can wear this. You're a 20-year-old boy going for your first summer job interview. Try this, But you have to have this personality. This is one of those fragrances which is temperamental, depends on who wears it, and you can leave a fantastic impression and a trail. Value for money is slightly low, as I said. How many marks will I give it? Okay, seasons, warm season, warm weather, age group, any age group, has to be professional setting though. So how many marks will I give it? High value for money would have pushed it towards 8, but because this is medium to low value for money, I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. But it's a very valuable scent for people who are in position of authority or work in a very very competitive, very competence-oriented, white-collar jobs. If you're in that kind of situation, try this fragrance. It may be the answer to one of your long-standing question. What is a perfect work scent? This could be one. Hope you enjoyed the review, fellas. Take care.